You specifically go about incorporating them into your work? Do you have any kind of method?
Yeah, I do. It's pretty much by ear. I listen to the piece of music and determine what kind of scale best suits it. Be it a pentatonic blues feel, or maybe it'll be Mixolydian and a real Egyptian sounding or something. But there are three scales that I use most of the time, which are the major pentatonic scale, which in A would be A, B, C sharp, E, F sharp, and A. And that kind of sounds like... It's kind of a country thing, or you can make it like blues.
Gotta bend the strings.
Yeah. There's also the blues pentatonic scale, which is pretty popular amongst rock players. In A, that would be A, C, D, E, G, and back to A. And I continue it up, of course. And that sounds real bluesy. That's the sound of that.
Finger vibrato and bending is essential there.
Totally. Yeah. I use that more than anything. Also, a scale that I like to use a lot is the Mixolydian scale, which is a great word, Mixolydian.
Mixolydian.
But you can really hear it in Headed for Heartbreak. The beginning of that song is...
Kind of a saxophone kind of sound.
Yeah, well that's my tapping thing. But the Mixolydian scale is A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, and back to A.
Whammy bar is optional on that one.
Right.
Now, as you've been showing, you can play all of these scales at different points on the neck, not just at the, the root positions.
That's right. I guess a good example of that is a major scale. If you take a C major scale, if you play it over an A, it sounds minor. It's a minor scale over an A.
Right.
Same thing if you play a D major scale over an A, it turns into Mixolydian. But if you hear it over D, it's major. So the point is you can switch scales around to different places on the neck, and it'll sound like a different scale.
Great.
I do that a lot.
Now you have a little something prepared here.
That's right. This is a blues song that I wrote. I didn't write it. It's just a 12-bar blues for you, the viewer, to jam along with me. There's actually a section in it where I'll point to you and you can play along. I'll be using two scales, the major pentatonic scale and the blues pentatonic scale, both in the key of E. The major pentatonic looks like this. And also the blues pentatonic, which looks like this. And that's about it. So get your guitar and let's get ready to jam. take one. Tapping.
Tapping. You're a tap kind of guy.
Yeah, I like to tap.
Now, everyone has a different approach, you know, different method of tapping. How is yours different from other players?
Well, I'd say the first thing is that I never use my pinky when I'm not tapping. So this is, in essence, my pinky.
Okay.
And it's got more strength than my pinky does, obviously. I use my middle finger. The reason I use my middle finger is because it's more in the middle of my hand, you know. It feels better to tap with my middle finger than with my first finger. Also, something that we'll get into later is how I go up. I think that's a little bit different than other people do it.
Yeah.
But the way that I go about doing it is I grab the neck with my pinky and this ring finger.
Ring finger.
Yeah, and also my thumb.
Okay.
Grab it, and I grab it hard.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like that, and just whack the string.
Okay.
The most important thing when you're tapping is muting.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'll have strings ringing out all over the place when you're doing it. And the way that I mute is any strings that are below my left-hand fingers, I mute with the flesh of those fingers. Any strings that are above the left-hand fingers, like if my fingers are right here,
Yeah.
you know, the E and the A and the D, I will mute with the fleshy part of my right hand palm here,
Okay.
like so. So example of that, if I'm going up when I tap, I'll mute with the flesh of my right hand. And if I'm going down, with my fingers of my left hand. Notice my right hand isn't even on there. Yeah.
I'm sure everyone has their own approach, but where do you keep the pick in your right hand when you go to a tapping phrase?
Yeah, it's actually pretty important. You've got to practice tucking the pick inside of your first finger if you're going to tap with your middle finger like I do. That's exactly what I do. If I'm doing a little lick, you can see how quickly you have to tuck it up inside.